Hi Cancer, happy early birthday to those of you who celebrate in June, and this is your June 2021 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic cross spread as always, and I also pulled an Oracle card and a Mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those Astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus will be as far as that goes. Alright, so we got Mercury. So that's fitting because Mercury's actually going to be retrograde in your 12th house in June. We have your energy, so, Cancer, that means the focus will be on you guys, especially, obviously, like I said, for those of you who celebrate your birthday in June, that would make sense, but that's what we have there. And we also have 3, so the 3rd house, communication. Again, like I said, with Mercury retrograde in the sign of Gemini in June, makes sense that we'd want to be focusing on communication, making sure that we're communicating clearly, but that's what I see there. All right, and getting started with the main spread. We have the Knight of Pentacles. So speaking of communication, this is actually Virgo energy, which for you guys is your 3rd house communication. So if nothing else, this could just be saying that, make sure that you're communicating slowly this month, that you're being thorough. Anything that you sign, you're double checking it, which is pretty much just normal, good standards to keep for a Mercury retrograde period anyway, but especially given that it is in your 12th house. So there could be some confusion with that placement in general, but especially with a retrograde. So could just be saying that, to be careful around communication. For others of you, if this is actually around finances, that's also a possibility as well. Could just be saying that, what you've been waiting on will be coming your way, just possibly a little bit slower than you'd hoped. So you might receive word of something this month, for example, but you might find that you won't physically have this in your possession until, let's say, July, just as a generic example. All right, in the challenger obstacle position, we have the 6 of Swords. So this is Aquarius energy here. And for you guys, that is your 8th house of, intimacy, death, rebirth, investments. So again, if this was around, let's say, a loan that you guys applied for a purchase, like let's say you're going to buy a home or something like that, or a car, or you name it, this could just be saying that, there's been delays around that. Well, for those of you, if this is around communication, could just be saying that maybe for a while you guys haven't been communicating what's been going on in your mind. Maybe you've withdrawn for a little bit, and this could just be saying that you might be slowly coming back out and around again and starting to communicate to people. In the foundation position, we have Judgment, which I usually view as Scorpio energy, Page of Cups, and the Knight of Wands. So seeing Judgment come up, usually this is something coming back up from the past for review. If it's an incomplete chapter, for example, that's another way that, could present itself. With the Page of Cups, it can be around love and romance for some of you. Maybe just an offer that was made in the past, or maybe there was some miscommunication around it. And given that we do see the Sagittarius energy here, for some of you, it can be around your work lives as well. Now, if that's the case, there is going to be that full moon eclipse in Sagittarius toward the very end of May. So it could just be pointing to that energy, which is to say that, maybe an opportunity that might have been missed in the past will come back around when we have that Sagittarius full moon. For some of you, it can be around movement, possibly travel, physically relocating for some of you, but that's what I'm seeing there. All right, in the past position, we have the Queen of Cups. So this is actually the court card for Cancer. So yeah, I'm kind of feeling this like you guys have been withdrawn for a while, keeping to yourselves, maybe not expressing what you were going through or what you were feeling. And I mean, in a way that would make sense, I guess, because we, Venus and Mercury just moved into Gemini. So, that's your 12th house. So that could be a bit of a withdrawn energy. So it would make sense that, given that this is a reading for June, that could just be saying that during that time you might have felt like you were withdrawn in yourselves a little bit. All right. In the present position, we have the Eight of Cups. So this is actually Pisces energy here. And usually this represents walking away from something to search for something more fulfilling. So that might be where you guys are at. Maybe even just shifting a belief system around something, because for you guys, Pisces is your ninth house. So, that could represent your philosophies, higher learning. But that's what I'm seeing there. It looks like you might have just found yourselves feeling like you weren't necessarily fulfilled in a certain situation and taking the steps to move on from that. And it's interesting that given the position in the spread, they're actually walking right toward the Nine of Cups that we see on the bottom of the deck. So chances are that decision that you did make to walk away from something is actually going to benefit your overall situation. All right, in the near future position, we have the King of Swords. So Aquarius energy again, and like I said, that's your eighth house. So, this could just be saying, with regards to intimacy, for some of you, could just be saying that you've been a bit blocked off. And when we think intimacy, the first thing we think of is sex, but that could also just be expressed as more vulnerability and expressing to someone what's on your mind. So I feel in a way you're still a bit cut off from that, it seems, maybe still a bit closed off in that area. But for others of you, this is around investments as well. Like I said, same thing there, where maybe there's some negotiations around investments. And if we look at the position of the Knight of Pentacles walking right toward the King of Swords there, so this could be saying that you might have finally made the decision to invest in something, and you're going to be doing that. So, like I said, maybe it's just a paperwork thing where maybe you're looking at different rates for loans or something like that. Now you finally found one you think fits you, and then you're going to actually move forward and go ahead with that. All right, in the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Ten of Cups, which is Pisces energy again. And we have the Four of Pentacles, which is Capricorn energy, which is your opposite sign. So interesting to see that you guys have the 8, the 9, and the 10 of Cups in the spread. I didn't realize that at first. So definitely a pretty positive progression. But I do have to say, what stands out to me with this is seeing that Four of Pentacles right beneath it. Could just be saying that this is more of your vision for something. So like I was saying, ninth house could represent your philosophies on situations. So for some of you, I feel like this is saying that this is your vision for something, but you're not quite revealing that that's your vision just yet. So even though I don't necessarily see this all related to romance, but let me just give that as an example. Where, you might be, let's say you start casually dating someone, and in your mind, you're really seeing all this potential for the connection with them. You're looking into the future and seeing all the things that could take place between the two of you. But when it comes to tangibly expressing that to this person, that that's what you see and that's how you feel, you could still be a bit closed off around that, right? Maybe because part of you's like, all right, maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself, let me take my time. So you could just be slowing yourselves down a little bit and try not to get ahead of yourselves. But that's just a generic way the energy could be playing out. I just wanted to point that out. And for some of you, for a much smaller group of you, could just be saying that, that this is available to you, but you could just still feel a little bit blocked off. And if that's the case, like I said, it looks like you'll be moving out of that energy eventually. So just know that, as you do start to open up more and feel more comfortable with that, it looks like things will work out well for you. All right, in the environment position, we have the Two of Swords. So this is Libra energy here, which for you guys is your fourth house. So yeah, this can be another indicator that maybe some of you are looking at potentially moving somewhere and just trying to figure out, where to, right? And maybe it's waiting for a loan amount to see where you can move, right? Okay, what type of house can I get? Things along those lines. For some of you, this can be, again, around relationships too, where, like I said, maybe I was seeing in the past, it looks like you guys might have been a bit withdrawn. And here we see she has her back turned to the water and the moon, which are basically your emotions. So Could just be saying that that's you guys still being a bit closed off. This can be someone else you're dealing with as well. And then we could see where there could be some second stagnation in the connection. If that's the case, if you're a bit withdrawn and keeping yourself regarding your feelings and they're doing the same. And that could be what that judgment energy is about, trying to get the ball rolling between the two of you. All right. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Lovers. So this is the major arcana card for Gemini. So, if we just take it at face value, you could just be saying that you're hoping for a connection to come together as far as love goes. But could also just be saying that you're hoping for things to be worked out behind the scenes. The more I see the Lovers card, I always think about the fact that that angel looks like they're in the background. And I think about things happening behind the scenes, especially given that the North Node is in Gemini too. So maybe that's part of why my perspective has shifted a little bit on this card. But it could just be saying that that's what you're hoping for, and that could be part of why you are holding tight a little bit and not coming out and expressing yourselves. There's a part of you that's hoping that things just kind of get worked out behind the scenes. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Tower and the 10 of Wands. So Sagittarius energy here, which is your sixth house of, work, daily routines, health, along with the Tower. So this could just be saying if you guys have really been burdening yourselves with something, overburdened, feeling overburdened, that could actually come to an end for you guys. For whatever reason, for the majority of you, I'm not really seeing this, although people tend to freak out when they see the Tower, I'm not necessarily seeing this as a big impact on you in a negative way. I feel like this is more like something that kind of needed to go anyway, coming to an end. For some of you, can be you guys actually coming to that decision for yourselves and saying, all right, you know what, I can't carry this burden anymore. So like I said, it could just be as simple as that. Maybe I have a lot going on at work. And, you could be coming to an end with that. And possibly even with that eclipse, that would make sense too. Like I said, there's going to be that eclipse in Sagittarius. So maybe if you guys have been working on some kind of a project for your jobs, for example, that could finally come to an end, and then you could release that burden. Trying to think if anything else comes to mind with this. Yeah, for the majority of you, that's what I'm getting. So definitely, by all means, keep an eye out for that full moon eclipse in Sag toward the end of May. And then, of course, toward the end of June, there'll be a full moon in your opposite sign. But I don't really, think there's going to be any harsh aspects to that one. And then there's going to be the new moon eclipse in your 12th house, too, in June. So, that might help you see things more clearly, actually. So that could be what this is pointing to as well. So maybe it might be one of those things where you didn't even realize that you were carrying so much of a burden, but maybe that comes to light with that eclipse and then helps you release it. All right. Moving on to your oracle card, we have a change in the wind. There's the artwork, and the number is 12. Okay, it says a sense that unseen change has been initiated, preparation for a storm, awareness that your plans are not on firm ground, feeling a shift, uncertainty about which direction the winds will blow. So interesting message there. That does almost make me think of that Tower energy. The Oracle's message says it's human nature to yearn for certainty and resist change, to want the world to remain consistent like a zebra's stripes. Yet nothing in human experience is black and white, nor will anything remain static. The one thing guaranteed is change. Now is a time of transformation as outer conditions are temporarily moving out of sync with your desires and expectations. Stay the course and remember that even storms serve to clear the air, scatter seeds, and nourish the soil for better things ahead. Life is about to get interesting. Anticipate it with curiosity as you wonder what is coming and on the shifting winds. The unknown is where the magic lies. So, pretty interesting message there, and it does make me think back to what I was saying, toward the beginning of the reading as far as, we see the Mercury came up in your dice. We see third house communication as well. So it could just be as simple as, like I said, having a Mercury retrograde in general could cause some confusion, but especially in your 12th house, and that's what you guys are going to have. So, it could just be one of those things where you might see things not too clearly, and then if that's the case, I feel like it could just be saying, try to remain patient and calm. And maybe that's even saying, to stay in that Nine of Cups energy, which is to stay open and receptive and believe that, positive things will come your way. The relationship message says relationships go through periods where partners seem out of sync with each other and stormy emotions and moods threaten to take down the ship. Perhaps someone has a change of heart and leaves. These rough seas offer opportunities for mutual growth, a way for you to understand your own heart better and to know what you need to truly be happy. Rest assured that whatever is happening now, good will come from it. Take temporary shelter and remove yourself from the drama. The air will clear and everything will be fresh and new again. This too shall pass. So, interesting message there. Like I said, I didn't get a huge romantic relationship vibe from this spread, but that's what you guys are looking for guidance on. Hopefully that message resonates, and then we'll be doing the love readings in around a week or so as well. The prosperity message says, as you endeavor to create a prosperous life, you may encounter unexpected reversals that cause you to shift directions. This is a good thing, so there is nothing to fear. Perhaps an opportunity you sought went to someone else. Perhaps you've pursued something that you suddenly realize is not in your highest good. You might not be 100% clear on where you need to go, but you are certain that things are not going as planned. Circumstances are not in your control right now. Wait it out. All will be well, even better, actually. Trust. So, pretty positive message there, too. And, like I said, with that new moon that's going to be coming up in your 12th house, it might require you to have a little faith and, just have hope that you'll get some insights around some situations, and maybe situations as you might have thought were worse than they are. You might see them in a different, more positive light as well. So, hopefully that resonated with you, too. All right, and finally, we have a Mudra. So the mudra you guys got for this month is the Granthita mudra. There it is there. Keyword for it is redemption. And all right, there's the info on it if you want to pause it or take a screenshot to see what it says. But under benefits, it says prepares the mind for meditation, opens Vishuddha chakra, which is the throat center, benefits the voice, improves thyroid function, increases the body's self-healing capacity, especially in cases of cancer. So if you feel like that's something that sounds like it would be beneficial for you guys, I will put the name of the Mudra in the description video as always. Once again, happy early birthday to those of you who celebrate in June, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.